ones as you travel. Please do not overspeed, overtake, or drive recklessly. Do not drink and drive. Don't use your mobile phones while driving. Obey all traffic rules. Use your seat belts at all times. Ensure your vehicle and tires are in good shape. Remember, your life is precious to your loved ones and the nation. We wish all Nigerians a Merry Christmas and a prosperous New Year. Otumba Salmon Akoni Oladiti, National Chairman, Nupeng PTD, Announcer.
What we are really cultivating here is a better future for all Nigerian women, and it's not always easy. Panadol Extra relieves headache, backache, joint pain, toothache, and menstrual pain. The pain is worth it.
You're still watching NTN Network News. Let's turn our attention now to the judiciary, where the Federal High Court sitting in Lagos recently convicted the former governor of Abia State and Chief Whip of the Senate, Orji Uzor Kalu. He is currently serving 12 years prison term as handed down by the court at the Kirikiri Correctional Facility in Lagos. What is the position of the law on a member of the Senate, now an ex-convict? Dele Atumbi of our Judiciary Desk provides answers to that question.
Tonight, Constitution under Section 308 grants immunity to the President, Vice President, governors, and their deputies from criminal prosecution. However, members of the National Assembly are not exempted from criminal prosecution while in office. One of the prerequisites for eligibility for aspiring for the position of office in the National Assembly is that one must not have been an ex-convict. However, if the aspirant to the office is standing trial for an offense bordering on fraud and dishonesty and has been convicted as long as he has exercised his right of appeal by challenging his conviction at the Court of Appeal, his eligibility to stand for election is, however, not vitiated.
The Constitution has provided under Section 66 that if somebody has been convicted for financial misconduct, he is not qualified. However, if he has an appeal pending, there will be no disqualification.
But now, he is still a member until the period within which he should appeal to the Court of Appeal would have lapsed, or the appeal would have been determined.
The 1999 Constitution, as amended, further envisages that an elected officer is subject to the rule of law. This was provided for under Section 68, subsection 1b of the Constitution. Flowing from the Constitution, what happens to the seat of a parliamentarian that is convicted, as in the case of Joshua Dariye, a member of the 8th Senate, and recently the former governor of Abia State, Orji Uzor Kalu, who is the chief whip of the 9th Senate.
So once he files an appeal, he will remain a member of the National Assembly until the appeal is determined.
If you are in the parliament and you are convicted and you are on appeal, it does mean that Section 68B or thereabout will not be applicable.
The lacuna created by the absence of a parliamentarian voted by his people to represent their interests and expected to meet the mandatory 1/3 sitting obligation needs to be attended to. Therefore, can a convicted parliamentarian still discharge these constitutional duties while serving a prison term in a correctional service facility?
When a senator is convicted and sent to prison, and the amount of time he'll be spending in prison is such that will affect his tenure, either largely in saying this is going to come for like 2-3 years, or maybe even half of those. People deserve effective representation. For me, at that point, if the sentence and the jail term is long enough to emasculate effective representation, which is the intent of being a senator, then that senator should automatically lose his seat.
This is the final arbiter on this matter. If this court upholds the decision of the trial court after its appeal at the appellate court, in line with Section 68B of the 1999 Constitution as amended, Orji Uzor Kalu automatically loses his seat as a senator. However, if the apex court pronounces otherwise, he maintains his seat. In Abuja, Dele Atumbi, NTA News.
Dele, thank you for enlightening us on that matter. Meanwhile, the world today is driven by technology. Unfortunately, accessibility to ICT facilities and the applications by students in the rural communities have remained a challenge for the future development of the region. To address this challenge, though, the Nigerian Content Development and Monitoring Board, as part of its commitment towards improving the situation, has donated a modular science laboratory and an ICT center to secondary schools in Brass local government area of Bayelsa State. Fred Owefie tells us more.
Adequate or unavailability of ICT facility and laboratory equipment is identified to be largely responsible for poor performance in certain subjects among students in rural schools. With the donation and commissioning of a modular science laboratory at Government Model Secondary School, Tuon Brass, and an ICT center at Government Secondary School, Okwama, by the Nigerian Content Development and Monitoring Board, these students can now get set to compete with counterparts in the best schools.
This is the first time we are having a well-furnished lab, and we are very happy about it. And we also want to thank NCDMB for the infrastructure.
Equipment of this nature will actually add to the education of the students.
Executive Secretary NCDMB Simbi Wabuta says the board is committed to supporting the educational aspiration of secondary school students at the grassroots.
In our strategy going forward is to encourage STEM education as well as ICT in secondary schools across the country.
Nigeria Content Development and Monitoring Board has been commended for investing on the future of students, as the school authority was urged to make judicious use of the facilities.
I want to say thank you to him for going beyond his core mandate.
Fred Owefie, NTA News.
President Muhammadu Buhari joins the media, particularly the advertising industry, friends, family members and professional associates in celebrating foremost advertising practitioner and chairman of the Troy Car Holdings, Biodun Shobanjo, on his 75th birthday. The president congratulates the marketing communications consultant for years of lofty achievements following his investments in an integral part of the economy that has created jobs, equipped many with skills for startups and attracted the global spotlight. President Buhari congratulates Shobanjo, whose wealth of experience and knowledge he believes will continue to inspire entrepreneurship in more people, and prays that the Almighty God will grant the advertising experts longer life, good health and more wisdom to keep investing in the country and her citizens. And President Muhammadu Buhari congratulates Nasarawa State Governor Abdullahi Sule on his 60th birthday, urging him to make good governance his priority in order to leave a lasting and favorable legacy. The president, who wishes the governor many more years in good health and prosperity, advises him not to rest on his oars, as the task of fulfilling campaign promises is even greater than the campaign efforts. More internally displaced persons of Bakassi origin in Cross River State have been empowered with skills aimed at improving their livelihood and making them self-reliant. The skill acquisition program put together by the National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons also equipped beneficiaries with starter packs on soap making.
The empowerment program came with a lot of hope and succor for the returnees in Akwa Ikoreyoidem and that of Ikorefie Mobuton. The package, which coincides with the Yellow Tide, would not only boost their income, but will also ameliorate their sufferings.
We so much appreciate National Commission for Refugees and Migrants.
This training has helped us a lot because we will be able to use our hands to produce things.
Government still need to help us so that we may climb a good ladder.
We can carry out a series of trainings for them to ensure that they have a means of livelihood.
Some of the items presented to the returnees include measurement scales, soap mixer, safety kits, chemicals, as well as 7,600 kVA generators. In Calabar, Erika Evie, NTA News.
You're watching the Network News on the NTA. Let's take a breather here as we join Michael in Lagos for stories from that axis. Compliments of the season, Michael. Hope you didn't go about boxing no one in the office today. Of
the season, Joseph, and welcome to Lagos. The stars shone brightly in form of 10 million lights across the vicinity of the Household of God Church, Oregun, Lagos on Christmas Day. Imole Ayotekede reports that the sparkle was a befitting ambience for the ministry's annual Hallelujah Night, which had members projecting their favorite Bible characters.
These bright lights that run through the routes leading to the church premises and everywhere around the imposing worship structure, as well as car parks, is why it is called the Night of 10 Million Lights. People are naturally drawn to lights, and so the worshippers who were in awe captured the moment. Founder, Household of God Church, the initiator of the concept, gave us a guided tour of the majestic arrangement.
This is the night of 10 million lights, reminiscent of the heavens. The one who created and established the Federation of Luminaries and marshaled them in their starry circuit and echelons to declare the glory of God and show forth his handiwork. That's what we are doing. That's what we are emulating. This is a microcosm of the heavens. So at Christmas, we know that the posture is to look heavenward, and that's why we have brought all these lights.
I'm sure you're fascinated by the royal presentation of Pastor Chris Okotie. Well, he is assembled in the likeness of the biblical Joseph from the book of Genesis. Just like their spiritual leader, worshippers showed up in Bible characters, which is the dress code for the Hallelujah party. From the temple guards to King David, pregnant Elizabeth, Ruth, Eve, and many more. Members of the congregation were divided into 12 groups, which represents the months of the calendar. In Lagos, Imole Ayotekede, NTA News.
Impersonation is a growing trend among criminally minded individuals and they spread their dragnets to many sectors, including the military. Lynn Neneke reports on 3 suspected imposters who were nabbed by the Nigerian Air Force in Lagos.
The 3 suspects were paraded at the Nigerian Air Force Base, Ikeja. They were arrested for allegedly forging fake identity card of the Nigerian Air Force, which they used in defrauding some victims of their valuables in the Ajao Estate area of Lagos State. The suspects had in their possession computers and other equipment for producing various military and paramilitary identity cards, as well as other gadgets allegedly used in committing other crimes.
On Saturday, my gentleman just come and meet me that they were looking for coin day, and they told me that he's snapping the Oga picture. So I said, okay, no while we take on teach, train for my place with that.
He said I should assist him so that he'll be able to collect his money. So I say, Oga, if I assist you, I don't want anything that will put me in trouble. And I said, not to put me in trouble. I did it for him. For the past 2 years, I've never set my eyes on him again.
The service will not condone any act capable of negating its core values or that tarnish its image, either by its personnel or any other individual.
The Air Force implored the public to immediately report any such suspected imposters to the nearest police station. In Lagos, Lynn Neneke, NTA News.
This is NTA Network News. More reports after this commercial break. Please stay tuned.
Cultivating hair is a better future for all Nigerian women, and it's not always easy. Panadol Extra relieves headache, backache, joint pain, toothache, and menstrual pain. The pain is worth it.
That channel where you watch
just now don't waka, no panic.
There's me no panic.
You go do it by yourself like ABC. Oh yeah, press the menu button on top your remote. Scroll up and down till you see Information Central. Then press OK.
Press OK.
Check the signal strength and quality. If the signal strength and quality pass 70, make you press the exit button, go back. Go advanced options, then choose installation, then go to reset and press OK.
Press OK.
Wow, now you self fit catch all those channels will be one miss road by yourself. Yes, make your groove for no loss. You see as I do, Abi?
And I see as I do,
Go TV, live it, love it.
And I see as we do,
What we are really cultivating here is a better future for all Nigerian women, and it's not always easy. Panadol Extra relieves headache, backache, joint pain, toothache, and menstrual pain. The pain is worth it.
We have come to the end of another successful year, and we wish to appreciate all those that mean so much to us. Our sponsors, our clients, government at all levels, corporate bodies, advertisers, religious bodies, civil society groups, political parties, and above all, you, our esteemed viewer. Together, we made 2019 great. Together, we shall make 2020 even greater. That is why we say, thank you. This is wishing you Merry Christmas and a prosperous New Year.
Thanks for staying with the NTA, and I'm back in Abuja. The Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation (NNPC) and the Chevron Nigeria Limited have executed agreements over the multi-billion-dollar Escravos gas to liquid project. Group Managing Director of NNPC, Mele Kyari, says Chevron Nigeria Limited would boost the domestic gas market. He acknowledged the roles played by President Muhammadu Buhari and the Chairman Senate Committee on Gas, Senator Basi Akpan, which he noted culminated into the execution of the agreements.
It will work for all of us. It will add value to our country, and ultimately the jobs that it will create, for the jobs that it can create, then also the opportunities that it will unlock.
Gone are the days when the gas was fled in the field, and all the efforts are in gear to monetize that gas. And EGTL, what it helps to do is to enable that commercialization, monetization of our gas resources.
Well, let's take you to Sokoto Network Center now, where Abdurrahman Usman Jibrila is standing by with more reports.
Good evening. Christmas activities have continued in Sokoto, with Christians spreading message of love and peace. Muhammad Nasir went around the metropolis and has this report.
Boxing Day is the day after Xmas. Though there were no activities at many churches, the God's Own Ministry held a morning service. Away from church service, clergymen under the auspices of Pentecostal Fellowship of Nigeria gathered to celebrate the season after a year round of religious activities. Pastors and their loved ones eat, drink, and share joy to fellow Christians.
Today we refer to it as Boxing Day. What that really means is that today is a day when you are supposed to unveil the box. Yes, Christmas is all about celebration. It's all about love for one another. Set out today after Christmas to share love. Love is so powerful because it cuts across different barriers.
NTA Sokoto Network Center was not left behind in the festivities, as Children's Xmas Party was organized, where children and their parents had fun. As Boxing Day entails spreading love among people, Christian Corpus Fellowship of Nigeria spent the day at the Sokoto Orphanage.
We just proceeded from the prison to this place. So it's a season of love, the season where Jesus Christ was born. So we just came because he asked us to extend the love to everybody in the society.
Gifts were presented to orphans to make them part of the celebration. In Sokoto, Muhammad Nasir, NTA News.
The wife of Zamfara State Governor Hajia Isha Bello Muhammad has presented 500 Ankara fabrics to the state branch of the Christian Association of Nigeria, Women Wing, in the spirit of Christmas celebration. This is aimed at supporting beneficiaries to celebrate the festivities with ease. Sadia Abubakar has the report.
Christmas, which is an annual Christian festival celebrating the birth of Jesus Christ, is observed on 25th of December. Christmas in Nigeria is a time of great joy when families get together to celebrate. It is with this view that the First Lady of Zamfara State, Hajia Aisha Bello, presented Christian women in the state with 500 Ankara fabric to make their celebration more joyful. Presenting the gifts on behalf of the First Lady, State PDP women leader Aisha Waziri said the gesture is aimed at promoting unity and harmony between the religious groups in the state. Some of the women who expressed pleasure over the gesture prayed for the success of Governor Bello's administration.
He brings many good things in this Zamfara, which we cannot be able to table, but we give thanks to everything, because it's only God that lets him, and not man. Number one, he brings peace in this Zamfara, and they bring unity. This is the first time that they follow us to church with wrappers that I can give to women in the state. His Excellency gave us rice, gave us cow, in order to see that we did the Christmas successfully.
Sadia Abubakar, NTA News.
That's our contribution from Sokoto. Back to Joseph in Abuja for more on Network News.
Thank you, Abdurrahman. As part of its social corporate responsibilities, the Nigerian Television Authority, in collaboration with other media organizations, is leading the campaign for the welfare and security of people living with albinism. Abubakar Usman Akwanga reports that the efforts is in line with the 2020 Ivory Aid Ball and Fundraising Committee for Albino Patients.
Findings show that people living with albinism are exposed to various degrees of health challenge, with cancer of the skin and eye on the front burner. This development has been engaging stakeholders across different fields of life to design frameworks of mitigating the problem. The latest initiative is driven by the 2020 Ivory Aid Ball, aimed at raising funds to address common health challenge with the media as critical stakeholders.
We in the NTA and the FRCN see this project as part of our social corporate responsibility. And we're also hoping that well-meaning organizations and individuals out there will key into this partnership to ensure that we give our brothers and sisters who need this assistance particularly, especially those of them who are very vulnerable.
It is so timely because as we speak, we're having challenges meeting the bills of the National Hospital. And so this is a welcome development.
As a demonstration of commitment to the actualization of the program, a 42-member committee was inaugurated to accomplish the task ahead. Managing Director NTA Enterprises, who represented Director General of NTA, Mr. Maxwell Logo, charged them to remain steadfast in pulling resources in meeting the health and social problems of people living with albinism. In Abuja, Abubakar Usman Akwanga, NTA News.
Time now to join Obehi in our Benin Network Center for more stories. Benin. All right, Obehi, season's greetings to you.
Greetings to you too, Joseph, and thank you very much for joining us in Benin. All operating fuel stations in the Benin metropolis are open and functional as residents make the best of the Yuletide. This is an indication that the state is enjoying petroleum product efficiency. The report. A few years ago, the situation might have been more of a Yuletide undermined by petroleum product scarcity, chaotic crowd in fuel stations, and a booming black market. Not so in the current experience.
The availability is purely for the government that does it. We don't stand by any marketer to divert. And that is why there are people on ground monitoring what is going on.
The filling stations are patronized only by normal traffic, and there is petroleum product sufficiency. At this point of the Xmas season, most times we don't see petrol goods, we don't see the products. But for us to see it right now, it's really commendable.
Unlike every other year, when it's Yuletide season like this, scarcity everywhere. But right now, it's very easy, and I think it's a good one that Nigerians should maintain.
The federal government, through the Group Managing Director, NNPC, has assured Nigerians that petroleum products will be available all through the Yuletide and beyond, with hitherto shortages non-existent. Inmates of the Nigerian Correctional Service Medium Security Custodian Center, OCO, have had the opportunity to also celebrate and share in the joys of Christmas. Archbishop of the Benin Metropolitan See and President Nigerian Bishops Catholic Conference celebrates the Mass, giving the inmates an opportunity to receive the sacred sacrament. Agatha Egwari-Ojo reports. Archbishop Akubeze reminded the inmates that God is always with them, despite the circumstances that brought them to the center.
All that matters clearly beloved in Christ, is that our Lord has come to redeem you. He has come to set you free spiritually.
The Deputy Controller commended the Archbishop and the diocese for their contributions to make life easy for the inmates. Others described the annual event as beneficial.
The inmates here should go back and think of where they are and try to go away from that mistake.
We've been able to organize ourselves as an organization, putting up a crack team of lawyers who will be at the defense for those who are awaiting trials.
Different societies in the diocese presented the center food items and toiletries. In Benin, Agatha Egwari-Ojo, NTA News. And that's our contribution from Benin, Joseph. It's over to you now for the continuation of the news.
From our Benin Network Center there. The performance mandate of the ministers is to ensure the delivery of public service to the people and make governance more open and enhance credibility of governance. These views were expressed on NTA's current affairs program, Moment for Thought.
Well, one of the things that is coming out of this is that confusing situations that might lead to people thinking about conspiracies rather than realities will be cleared.
The mandates are a benchmark. Yes. When you took office, these were the briefs you got. Okay. It brings to mind a saying that what doesn't get evaluated doesn't get done. Yes.
It will be broadcast on the network service of the NTA at 12 midnight this evening. Let's just take another break now. We're back shortly.
This Saturday on the Premier League, Newcastle United go head-to-head.
Their lives courageously to safeguard our borders, but in the line of duty, many never returned. Nigerians, arise, let's celebrate our fallen heroes. Put on the remembrance emblem with pride to support the incapacitated and families of our fallen heroes.
It is indeed befitting to honor the memory of the gallant hearts of the men who paid the supreme sacrifice to keep the
President Muhammadu Buhari enjoins all ministries, parastatals, religious and corporate bodies to donate generously to the Emblem Appeal Launch. Send your donations to these accounts. Account name, Emblem Appeal Launch. Account number 393-200-7526. EcoBank Nigeria PLC.
On Sports Update, we begin our review of Nigeria's sports in 2019. Kenema Abudike brings us part 1 of the series.
The year 2019 will go down as quite memorable for Nigeria's sport. 20
2019 saw a change of baton at the helm of Federal Ministry of Youth and Sports Development, with Sunday Dare taking over from Solomon Dalung as minister. No sooner did he assume office than he hit the ground running with result-oriented programs including grassroots integration, template for concessioning of national stadia across the country, and launch of Adopt campaign. The Abuja National Stadium was also renamed Moshood Abiola National Stadium in June by President Muhammadu Buhari.
As you can see, I've taken off my agbada. That means work starts now. Let's get ready. Let's roll up our sleeves. We have youth, we have sports. So our mandate areas are very clear.
In basketball, Nigeria's D Tigers were the first African team to pick a ticket to next year's Olympics by being the best African team at the World Cup in China. Their female counterparts, D Tigresses, won the 2019 Women's Afrobasket in Senegal to book a place in the Olympic qualifying tournament built for February 2020 in Sabia. And in athletics, Ese Brume put Nigeria on the medal table with a bronze medal in long jump at the 17th IAAF World Championships in Doha. In boxing, Anthony Joshua shined with his unanimous point rematch victory over Andy Ruiz Jr. in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia in December to reclaim the WBA Super, IBF, WBO and IBO heavyweight titles. Perhaps the icing on the cake for Nigeria's sport in 2019 was the historic visit of President of International Olympic Committee Thomas Bach to the country in November, which high point was the commissioning of Association of National Olympic Committees in Africa and NOCA office complex in Abuja.
With the inauguration of this magnificent building, you are setting a milestone for the development of sport all over Africa.
Watch out for part 2 of our review of Nigeria's sports in 2019.